Hello friends, and welcome back to another video here on Reality Reads. Today is our Christmas vacation vlog. I'm so excited to share all of this with you. So we started off the morning, and I didn't actually get this part on video, but we let the kids do like a little scavenger hunt to find out where we were going. So one of our 2025 goals was to do this thing called Family Day. And it was where every single month we had one day out of the weekend that we did something together as a family, and we tried really hard to make it like a new experience to us, even if that meant just playing a new to us board game or trying a restaurant that we hadn't tried before. We took the kids in the summertime to their very first Major League Baseball game. It's something that we really enjoyed this year, and the kids look forward to it every single month. And this month, I purposely did not plan or like put on our family calendar when Family Day was going to be because of this. So we sat down in the morning to have breakfast, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just realized we didn't plan a Family Day this month. And we were like, what if we just do Family Day today? And I was like, I actually have been thinking about this, and I have some clues hidden around the house to tell you what Family Day is going to be this month. So then they did the scavenger hunt, found the card in the box of like goodies that I had prepped for them that you saw in a previous video. If you didn't watch that video, it is the like DIY advent calendar and burr basket video. So they were really, really excited to find out that not only was it Family Day, but we were actually going on a vacation to a place that they love. So from there, we started packing everything up and got ready to head out. Top of the scavenger hunt, before we could start packing everything up, we also let my daughter open up all of her presents because we were leaving on Friday and her birthday was going to be on Saturday. I didn't want to have to transport all of her birthday presents for her to open them at the Airbnb. Wasn't sure what time we were going to get back, like what the schedule of Saturday really looked like. And there were some things that I was like, yes, she could take that on the trip with us. Like she got a new tablet. But then there were other things where I was like, that's easily going to get lost or forgotten. And like she would just be getting it. So that would be really kind of a letdown. So we just decided a couple weeks ago that we would let her open everything the morning before we left. And so that's what we did. And that kind of added to part of us being late as well was, not really calculating the amount of time that was going to take us. But it was still fun. She was super excited to get to open stuff a day early. And she was super excited that she got her tablet. That was like her number one thing that she's been asking for. One thing that I do regret is that I didn't pack my bags and that I didn't have my partner pack his bags the night before. With the timing that we woke up and trying to get our own bags and the kids' bags and all of that different kind of stuff together, we ended up leaving a little bit later than what we had intended, which is fine. Like this whole vacation, we did not plan out a tight itinerary the way that we typically do when we go on a trip. Part of that being because we have never gone to Branson and Silver Dollar City during this season. We always go in the summertime, and we weren't really sure what all was open, what all wasn't. We tried to look different things up ahead of time, but we also just weren't sure what capacity and how busy everything was going to be. So we were kind of just like, let's just kind of, we knew we were going to do Silver Dollar City all day on day 2. And so we purchased all of that ahead of time. But other than that, we were like, let's just kind of like go with the flow while we're there. So it wasn't really a big deal that we didn't leave at a specific time, but we had just kind of wanted to get there by a certain time, but it's fine. It's whatever. So, because we were kind of running behind on the schedule that we had kind of somewhat mapped out in our head, instead of me like finishing getting ready here at home, since I wasn't driving, I got ready in the car. And of course, no road trip can even begin without a good bev. So we stopped at our favorite place, Scooters. I got my typical coffee. I think my partner, also got coffee. My son got coffee, and then my daughter got her favorite candy cane hot chocolate. And then we were ready to head out and actually start our adventure to Branson. So, like I said, we have gone to Branson before. It's not necessarily something that we do yearly or anything like that, but we've gone a couple times before, a couple times with the kids, and then there's been a couple times that we've gone just the two of us with friends or different things like that. One place we always stop at is Lambert's, but the last like two times we've gone, it honestly hasn't been that great. And this was one of those times. It was decent. I will say, like, my sides that I got, those candied yams, the green beans, the mashed potatoes, phenomenal. But like the main entree part, subpar. Both times that we went the last time. So we decided this time that the next time we do go to like Branson or that way, we're not going to stop there. We're going to stop at somewhere else and try something new. I honestly, this time I did make a caveat that like we're only going to stop and eat there if the wait is not very long, because there have been times that we've gone there and the wait has been like 2 hours and it's just genuinely not worth it. But thankfully for this time, I guess, it didn't end up being that great. But thankfully, there was no wait time. We were able to go right in and be seated. That was part of the reason why we wanted to leave at a certain time. We didn't want to get there right at noon, which we ended up getting there like right at noon. But we were worried that getting there right at lunchtime would cause us to have a really long wait time. But it ended up being fine. It all worked out. So then we finally made it to Branson. We got there roughly about an hour before we could check into our Airbnb. Another reason we were trying to leave early is so we could maybe squeeze in one activity before it was time for us to check in. But since we only got there it wasn't even a full hour before we were able to check in, we decided to just go ahead and make a trip to Walmart. We wanted to, since we knew we were kind of going with the flow, we knew we would spend a decent amount of time at the Airbnb, so we wanted to go ahead and get like snacks and drinks. Nothing too crazy since it's only going to be for the weekend, but we wanted to have a few things on hand, some water and, different things like that to have in the Airbnb, so we didn't have to like spend a lot of money at like gas stations and different things like that for little things. So we went and did that, and then we checked into the Airbnb. Then we just relaxed for a little bit, and then we decided we were going to go shopping. Both kids have been saving money just to learn to save money. And so we thought that this was a good opportunity for them to really be able to kind of splurge and spend some money. And there's a couple of different outdoor mall areas in Branson. And so we went to the Tanger Outlet Mall. That one is actually my favorite. It's just not quite as busy. And I don't know, I just like the vibe of that one better. It feels like a normal outdoor mall, to where like the landing just feels different. It feels more touristy there instead of like just a normal like mall shopping experience, if that makes sense. But both kids bought some new tennis shoes at the Nike store. And then my daughter bought like a Stranger Things mini blind bag thing. And that was all they ended up spending their money on. But they came back home with money still to spend. So we'll see what they end up spending it on. But it was fun to just kind of get out and take them shopping and spend some time together. And then we went back to the Airbnb to get rested for our big day at Silver Dollar City the next day. So I had mentioned in a few of my videos leading up to the vacation that I was really, really nervous about like the volume of people that were going to be at Silver Dollar City at the same time that we were going to be there. I didn't really know when we decided that this is when we were going to go, that this is the busiest weekend of the holiday season. And I started seeing more information about that, like leading up to us going. So I was really nervous that my social anxiety was going to be like just through the roof. And I will say, in the actual town of Branson, anywhere we went, it really wasn't that busy. Like in the summer when we go, it's definitely way busier at all of those places. So as we were like that day before and being out and about and not really seeing a lot of people, I was like, oh, okay, like everything I saw must have been a lie. And then we went right as the park opened. We got there early, and there were plenty of rides that had like 0 wait time or like 15-minute wait time. It didn't seem overly crowded. I've been there other times where it's way more crowded. We one time made the mistake of taking like a friend's trip opening weekend. We'll never ever do that again. We didn't know it was opening weekend whenever we like went, but literally we'll never do that again in my life. So, when we first got there, it was fine. But as the day went on, and especially once we started getting closer to the time of like the parade and the light shows and all of that kind of stuff, it was packed. And I wasn't the only one that was feeling like overwhelmed and overstimulated and all the things. And on top of that, because of there being more people, the wait times for the rides was a lot. So we all collectively made the decision that we were just going to go ahead and skip out on like the lights and the parade and all that kind of stuff and head back to the Airbnb. We had tried to go to the tree lighting, but apparently we were at the wrong Christmas tree, and the tree lighting was at 5 o'clock, and the performer at the tree we were at did not tell the crowd of people that was at the tree we were at that we were at the wrong tree until literally 4:59 p.m. So there was just no way we were going to make it to the other tree in a minute's time. So we were like, okay, well, we're just gonna head out. So that's what we did. we went back to the Airbnb, and then bonus daughter and her family, they decided that they wanted to do some additional shopping, so they went to the Branson landing and they did some shopping there. And we played some cards, ordered some pizza, just kind of had a relaxing night inside the Airbnb. And then once everyone was there, we all did like happy birthday stuff with my daughter. And she decided that even though we had purchased cupcakes when we made our Walmart trip, she decided that she instead wanted donuts. So we got donuts and then called it a night. And then the next morning, we all had talked the night before, all of us adults. My partner, bonus daughter, and her boyfriend, we were all like, okay, we are ready to get out of here now. We've had our fun. And so we were all like, let's just go to bed early. The kids are tired out. Let's go to bed early, get up early, and get out of here and head home. And so that is exactly what we did. But thankfully, on the way home, we made one more pit stop. Made a stop at Books a Million, which I was so happy about, and I got 2 books. I got Julie Tudor is Not a Psychopath. This one just sounds really interesting. It says Julie Tudor is 49 and has it all. A fantastic job. Well-maintained spreadsheets are the linchpin of an efficient office. A beautiful house. Some may wonder how she got the money for it, but nothing has been proven. And the man of her dreams. And then it goes on to explain how she is not a stalker, not a serial killer. And then at the end it says, after all, what's a little murder in the name of true love? I don't know. I was definitely intrigued. So I grabbed this one. And then I just sometimes get so overwhelmed going into a bookstore and not really having like a specific book that I'm looking for. I knew I wanted thrillers because I really like reading thrillers and mysteries in the winter time after I've read all of the fun, fluffy holiday rom-coms and romances and all the things. I like diving into a bunch of thrillers. So I knew I wanted like thrillery kind of books, but I just didn't have a specific book in mind, and there's just so many options. So I told my daughter to help me pick one. I just told her, pick a cover that you think looks kind of like a scary book, basically. So she picked this one here. It's called Silent Sister. And it says, Grace and Maddie are sisters who have nothing in common until they both disappear on a class trip. Days later, Grace is found injured and disoriented with no memory of what happened and no clue where her sister is. Everyone thinks she's lying. It's hard not to look guilty with Maddie's blood on her clothes. With nothing but Maddie's journal as her guide, Grace must piece together what happened to clear her name and find her sister, but she is about to discover that her own secrets could be the most terrifying of all. So this one sounds pretty good as well. And then there was this other book that I saw in there. It was called The Bells. It sounded so freaking good, but it was in a hardback and it was like $38. And I was like, I'm not spending that much on a book. I just can't do it. But I did look it up, and the paperback comes out late in the summer of 2026. So I think I'm going to pre-order the paperback. It was way cheaper, and it just sounded like a really good book. So if you've read it, because it is out now, it's just not in paperback, and honestly I prefer paperback over hardback anyways, not even just because of the price. But if you've read it, let me know if it's actually like worth it. I'll put a picture here on screen of what the cover looks like, but I just want to know if it's actually worth purchasing. I need to look up some reviews of it. But yeah, so from there we just drove the rest of the way home. I immediately came home, did laundry, tried to pick up a little bit, and then I slept for like 4 hours because one thing I forgot to mention is the bed in the Airbnb was so uncomfortable to me. Me and my son both barely slept. I would just, my back was killing me. I could not get comfortable. It was just way too firm, and I much prefer softer mattresses. And yeah, I just did not get good sleep. So when I got home, I started some stuff and then I just crashed. So, but, and now my legs are really starting to, I'm like on that, like, whenever you start working out, and at first you're like, oh, I'm like not even that sore. Like, what was I so concerned about? And then it's like the 2 days later, and you're like, oh, that's what I was worried about. That's where I'm at from all of the walking that we did around Silver Dollar City. My shins are on fire constant-. And between all of the walking and the bed with my back, I am walking around like a 75-year-old woman with freaking like limping and like a hunchback right now. So we'll get back to normal here pretty soon. Definitely a sight to see for sure. But that was our Christmas vacation. Hopefully you enjoyed today's vlog, and I will be back tomorrow for, let's see, tomorrow. No, we have 2 more days left. So, okay. So I will be back tomorrow with another vlog.